Just taking a bit more footage with the hawklet, same hawklet here. Experimenting with settings here because they're spending a lot of time in these really shaded trees, so between the clouds that keep coming in from time to time and all the shading in the tree, it's hard to sometimes get the right exposure settings. But hopefully some of these will come out reasonably well. I haven't heard the other hawklet. It was definitely in the same tree probably about 10 minutes or so ago. I'm not positive where it is now. It may have left. At this point they seem to be using, or the adults at least seem to be using still the nest itself as at least a drop point. I've seen adults come in several times in the last couple of days now, just come right into the nest and leave immediately, as if, I'm pretty sure, just dropping a food delivery for the hawklets to deal with themselves as a convenient sort of nest drop-off spot. That may partially be a reflection of the fact that they've shifted positions, and there's not so much options for them to kind of have as good perch delivery spots for like food deliveries that they had on the other end of the park. Especially since everything here is basically bordering on people's backyards, and while they're very tolerant of people in general, they may or may not be totally comfortable with kind of being too close to some of these trees when there's people active in the backyards. So I'm not entirely sure on that factor. But I've definitely been seeing both of them, you know, recently in the last couple of days with sort of visible crops, so they're eating for sure. And the adults are certainly still making food deliveries. I don't know where they're going to go from this point. At least they seem to be starting to kind of move their activity. The hawklets, when they're off the nest tree, they're kind of coming in this direction, in the park direction. So they may kind of start using other locations in the park to roost and stuff like that. But now with all the trees that have been removed by the city due to the emerald ash borer problem, a lot of the tall trees in the park are now gone, and the only kind of other ones that are relatively high, and they do seem to most of the time like high perches, is kind of on the other side, closer to the old nest area. There's still a few sort of tallerish trees over there, and then in the sort of south central corner of the park there's a lot of very, very big willow trees. But they may not like that area too much because there's a daycare center that runs there, and there's a lot of very loud activity, just kids playing in the yard of the daycare and stuff like that. So we'll see where the hawklets tend to hang out once they kind of get some more flight skills and can kind of move around further distances at will. Last year with the 3 hawklets, August 26th I believe was the last day that I sighted any of them in the park. So they should be around for a while, but with only 2 I'm not sure how long they'll be around.